Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan McGuire here from Third Coast Grappling. I'm joined by my partner, Zach,
What's up?
and producer Oliver over there with his little 80s t-shirt or something.
It's Jack Burton from
Yeah,
Big Trouble in
Big Trouble in Little China.
Very nice. It's all in the reflexes.
Absolutely.
You've seen that movie, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Classic.
Of course.
We have some other people that never seen that movie.
Who?
Disgrace.
Who?
Rivas Brothers for
They've
one.
never seen it?
No.
I believe, Ricky might be a little too young. Like, he might be,
Have you ever heard of reruns?
I don't know.
Not every
doesn't-
movie you have to see when
Well,
it comes
how
out.
can he come off, as a hipster type of guy and, be all this and not know those, epic 80s movies?
That's the ironic part of it.
Yeah, it's like, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm ironically ironic when it comes to my lack of knowledge of movies.
Yeah, it's,
in my glasses.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it's been a
3CG News. What we got going on?
we
got an event coming up.
we've got a lot going on, man. 3CG4 is right around the corner. It's like I've been saying,
Exciting.
it's the greatest card of all time, and I'm just gonna say it. And if you don't like it, I don't care. So, it's the greatest card of all time. It's coming up. We just announced our new partnership with Twin Peaks, which is cool to get back in bed with those guys.
Yeah,
And
they were one of our original sponsors, and
Yeah.
now they're back.
I have a good friend that's high up in the management group.
Are they gonna send us ring girls again, or
I'm sure we can work something out.
we're gonna make sure they can show us their driver's license this time?
Yeah, I thought we were putting on some low key, I don't know.
I remember. So we had this production. The only time we used them was our very first event. Was this streaming production company, and I was working the the changing of the
Yeah,
cameras.
the angles.
And he kept yelling at me. He's like, because the cameraman would zoom in on one of the girls' asses as they're leaving, and he's like, pick that one, pick that one. That's what the audience wants. That's what the audience wants. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh, is that what was his name? We won't say his name,
Yeah, yeah.
but that guy.
Yeah, he was like, give them what they want. Show the picture.
He had that weird young chick with him that is you weren't sure if she's like above the legal limit, and then you're not sure if it's really his daughter. It's maybe some weird thing. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, he would get all mad at her. What did I tell you? I told you to go run that line over there, man. And she's just grabbing this, she's in high heels and stilettos. I didn't know what was going on. It was Bizarro World for sure.
Yeah, and he was like, we didn't know we didn't know where we're gonna. He was like, I've never done an event like this. We're like, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, and he's like, I figured out how to do, scoreboard. And
That big gray line across the bottom.
no, that was different. That was a different thing. That was a different computer.
Oh, that was when Ben
yeah.
made
We
it.
had a different one on the live stream.
Yeah.
And we had to he was running, he was adding, and he was trying to stay with it. It was a mess.
Yeah, man. We've grown a lot since then, man. And that's something I want to kind of touch on, from, a lot of people talk about, we're going to create this promotion, we're going to do all this. And then they try to take shortcuts. And we saw it with the Substar stuff, where I think if you start delegating your passion and start, pushing off, the responsibilities of your business before you learn every aspect, or you pour some of yourself into each part of it, I don't think you have the same appreciation and understanding of your business unless you do it yourself.
Well, we did it too.
Yeah, we did it
but
ourselves.
That's because we didn't like the streaming guy. We didn't know him. We had to pull in people that we didn't know, and that's what you got to do when you start. Obviously, they're not starting, so they're a couple years in. But
yeah, it wasn't like we were just pulling. We had a core group of people. Zach over here was editing and cutting out, photos for our flyers.
Yeah.
We did all kinds of stuff DIY, and we still do. I'm heavily involved, in the content creation, with video producing, directing, and editing, and music selection, and sounds.
Athletes would give us the worst pictures. They would have pictures of them with hugging two other people, and I'm like, how are we supposed to make a fight picture out of that?
And it
looks like you have no arms.
You look
when I cut you out.
It some blurred face in the witness protection program. It's so pixelated.
It's people are gonna think they're gonna have a no arm guy, fighting on a card, and I'm like, it's just because they gave us a shitty picture.
My favorite ones are when they send screenshots of a picture,
Oh,
and it's hey, bro, I took a screenshot of my Instagram and sent it to you.
Even Keenan gave us a black and white. He's like, that's all I got. And we're like, this is all the pictures you got?
You're out there looking like a black and white, I don't know.
We had to literally
T-Rex.
change, if you go back to our original poster, everybody's in black and white just because Keenan
It was the black and white picture.
only gave us a black and white picture, and we're like, all right.
So,
it was
yeah.
he had a black eye in it too. This is the worst picture ever.
It was his Hyperfly promo pic or something, looking all edgy. But no, man, like that. There's something.
People
to
were
it.
confused too because we had a lot of we had like no gi guys. Like Bill Cooper, his poster, he had a gi on, so everyone's like, "Is Bill in the gi? Is he a no gi?"
I'm like, don't worry about it. Why are you worrying about it? So like, I mean, we did all this stuff on our own because we literally started this thing with no money. Like we started it, we bootstrapped it for ourselves for a long time.
Like, we met in like March, right? And then we're like in January is when the event's gonna be.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of time to plan.
It was actually like April.
Was it April?
April? No. Our first meeting was in July, and then the event was in January.
Yeah. So we had but I mean, there was a lot of planning and basically building up. I mean, that first show was so sold out because we had been down everybody's throat, like, come to this event, come to this event.
I call it like
6 months.
Like me and Zach both have really strong marketing backgrounds. I mean, we first worked together on like a real estate venture, and we saw that we both had some talents that could be beneficial in other arenas. So when I brought this idea to him, he was the first person, I thought of, so I was like, hey man, what do you think about this? I came to him, I already had the venue locked down, a date locked down. I mean, I basically had the whole model for our first event locked down, and it was like an easy transition. Hey man, we'll just get the fight posters done. We'll get this. We'll get.
So we thought.
So we thought it was easy, but I mean, we pulled it off. I mean, our first event, man, was.
How did you get Flo on board?
Look, man, like we were one of the first organizations I think that Flow Grappling has ever
we've said that.
sight unseen.
How did you get them to sign?
All right,
how'd you get them?
So I'm going to explain my thought process because you know what, people, this stuff isn't as simple as you think it is. Like this isn't as like so when I first started, I was like, you know what? How do we cut the line? How do we get instant credibility and we get the attention that we think that our skills and our shows and our rule set? How do we get the opportunity to showcase that what we think is the best grappling event? How do we get there quicker? So I was like, well, I know if I can get Keenan Cornelius he was my target from day one to main event. I was like, I know if I can get Keenan on board, that the whole world will come.
There was a lot of people that hated that too. But.
Yeah, they hated it. But I was like, if I can get Keenan on board, I was like, the whole world will follow.
Yeah, he had like 300,000 followers at the time too. Yeah. We're like, man, we can get that guy.
Man, I'm getting 300,000 followers. But then,
nobody knew how. And when you were like, we got Scout Bar, and everyone's like, Scout Bar. I've been there. It seems pretty small.
So and everybody was like,
how's this gonna work?
The stage is so small. And like I told him, I'm like, look. This stuff's done intentionally. I'm tired of the days of these giant ass mats.
It wasn't intentionally. It's just what we had to work with.
Well, and it was, but it was also,
it worked into an advantage.
We talked about extending it out and doing all kinds of stuff, like we in the beginning. But what it came down to is that we realized I watched a lot of MMA and I watched, as does Zach. And if you look at those UFCs where they use the smaller cage, there was always a lot more action and knockouts, and there were a lot more exciting fights in those cages because of the confines of.
We would have extended it out one more mat space out.
No, we were going to do at least like probably two levels out to where
I mean, there's just it's the same size as the Warehouse Live. It's just missing the one last mat is like up now. Mm-hmm. So I mean, one more mat space down would have been perfect.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think it really started to drive that. You know what? You don't need these giant mat spaces. I watch more people. Oh my
God! I was like, we supposedly measured everything, and then sent it to Fuji Mats to like. Spec out, and we're like, it's gonna fit perfect. And then as soon as we got there, we're like, fuck, this don't fit. I was like, Ryan, did you measure this? It's like, kinda.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like those early days, man, I really like to look back and look at all the hustlers. Like we had a lot of great community support, and that's one thing.
We had like 20 people helping us set up. Now we don't need that.
We got like 2 or 3.
But at the time, we had like 20, and it felt like we needed it because it took so long to set everything up.
What was amazing about that is that was all people in our community that donated their time and their energy just for the love of, and they loved what we were doing. They want to be a part of it, and they still do that. Like Jeannie Kubrick, like
she just bought a shirt from us on our website.
Yeah, like, she told me she was to do the merch. She's amazing. Her and Chuck and their family. Yeah, like these people, like I'm telling you, some of the best people you'll find are in jiu-jitsu, but some of the most craziest, weird, egotistical people you'll ever find are in jiu-jitsu as well. So it's kind of.
I'm sure if you go rock climbing, you'll find some ego people.
Because they do jiu-jitsu. Rock climbers love to do jiu-jitsu. And then like the new thing, got to work on my grip strength.
If you go find some surfers, there's some ego there. There's ego everywhere.
There is.
And especially when it comes down to a skill, like the group you're in is in a skill.
And you're trying to make somebody submit. So there's always going to be some ego.
There's even more ego, I'm sure, in MMA because it's of course. It's even more primal.
Well, prize fighters, like look at the great boxers of our age, like the best showmen.
Bare knuckle boxers.
Like Muhammad Ali, all these guys were ego. You have to have an ego to go in there. You have to go in there thinking you're the fucking best, no matter what, every time.
Dude, it's a mental fuck every time you compete and you're fighting because it's so embarrassing. It is embarrassing if you lose because everyone, like Professor Brandon always says, everyone thinks they can do two things, fight and fuck. And most people are bad at both, but they just don't
Exactly.
know because they don't get enough practice.
And I didn't realize how bad I was at fighting until I started training jiu-jitsu. And then I didn't realize how bad I was at fighting again until I started training like some MMA
I thought you were
stuff.
saying you didn't know how bad you were at fucking until you got married.
Hey, I'm a fast learner though, baby. Shout out. I'm just kidding. But,
Ryan was a virgin until he got married. So
I was a born-again virgin. Jesus Christ had saved me and my
congrats
soul.
to your holding out.
Hey, will you hand me another beer over there, Oliver? We're kind of spicing up the Third Coast Grappling Radio today.
Man, you get a little fifth stripe in here.
I'm competing on Sunday too, so cheers. Ultra heavy life. That's what you can do.
I'm on weight. I dropped 10 pounds from February 8th to now. I was 200 on February 8th, and I am 190 now.
You look real thin in the face now. It's like trimming up a little bit. You don't love it.
I don't. Yeah, I trimmed up everywhere. Like fat is just falling off.
Like
And
even- like
carnivore diet works.
Like in the, you're getting the V shape.
Yeah. I mean, we take my shirt off right now, or
Take
what?
it off. Oliver would love it. Isai would
Oh,
too.
he's
probably
giving me those
watching.
eyes. Oh,
I feel like I should hold the mic with two hands.
He's holding. Oh, but no, I mean, just looking back on the early days and some of the funny stuff that we went through, man. Like you look with the Keenan stuff, and like we'll get back to that. So I started researching on Flow Grappling. Like, who are these guys? Who are they tagging in their pictures? Who's involved? And I started stalking all their Instagram accounts. So after that, I was like, I would hit them up. Hey, man, like we're starting a new upstart promotion in Houston. Ricardo, Howell, everybody. They all got a message. And I was like,
who reached out to you first?
Ricardo did because he handles that, the stuff over there. So I was like, hey, this is what we got. We got Keenan. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, bro. Like we were so happy. Like we thought we were like, like it was the.
I remember we released it. We had a launch party.
That was so.
That was a fun launch party, and we released the headline. Unfortunately, obviously, Keenan wasn't there because he lives in California. But
The
yeah,
response
it
was
was
big.
really cool. Yeah, people were shocked.
And with our events, I've always had like a flair for the dramatic. I've always liked the pro wrestling. I like events. I like throwing events. I like going to events. I like stuff that stands out and catches your attention. So like we always made sure to brand our like weigh-ins and our little parties and like throw parties and events around important events. Like instead of having a bunch of guys like laying out in a hotel ballroom, like
Well, you go
with a
to
banner.
any entertainment event, baseball, football, F1, doesn't matter. They have all these little parties too. Like, they have. The only thing we don't have that would be cool, maybe later on, but like a press conference at the end. Like Metamours used to do a press conference, but
And well,
people want to get wasted though. So
yeah, afterwards, I just want to get the fuck out of there and go next door and start taking shots. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then, because this is like our only time we party is around events. So it's like we plan our events and we plan our shit face, moments once a month. I think it's healthy. It keeps us. It reminds us of why we don't get shit faced anymore. And it's we get it once a month still.
getting too old.
So, but yeah, back to that. So Ricardo reached out and he was like, "Hey, yeah, this is great. And it was only because of Keenan, and I knew that. So we get Keenan out there. We do our first event with Flow Grappling. And we're like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like we sell out the venue, the biggest, and then I jump in. We do our first qualifiers event, which was really cool. William Tackett won, and then we go into our second event, and that was. I had just finally had
crazy one.
that was the one where we brought people in and we were able to kind of hack the market, so to speak. So we basically went in there and we set the tone and we said, with the marketing stuff, I like to drown people out. I like to sit there and I like to make it to where no matter where you turn, you're going to see Third Coast Grappling content.
Yeah.
Especially leading up to an event.
Especially if you're on the Draculino group page, you get spammed every day. Like
Exactly.
There's nothing else on there except.
Exactly, because you know what? People aren't sharing what's going on. They're just sitting there and existing. I'm trying to get people involved. I'm trying to get people excited. And if you don't like what I'm posting, there's Gordon Ryan did a great lesson on it. So you just go over to the corner, you hit the little drop down button, you click unfollow or something like that.
Not if you're on the Draculino team page.
You can mute me. I mean, there's all kinds of tactics here. Like, I really don't care. Like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And those tools are in place for you to, have a Ryan-free experience. So please utilize them. Otherwise, fuck off. I mean,
You
that's all I'm
tag me
saying.
in everything, so I go on a Facebook and it's just Ryan.
Did you hide me yet on your timeline where you have to approve posts?
No,
So it just
probably
You need to do
my,
that.
All my Facebook is just Ryan McGuire.
Man, I feel really bad. Like
You
need
tag
to,
me in everything.
Well,
like,
bro, well, of course, that's what you do.
well, then I got to delete everything.
you
I got
real-
to delete it off my timeline so people at work don't see me.
That's what I'm saying. Like you need to go on there and put. You have to approve posts on your timeline. I have it on mine, so that when people tag you, you can go in there and be like, all right, I don't want to put that one, but I'll do that one. You know, and just pick and choose the ones. But yeah, I thought you did that already. Lisa does it. I do it. Oliver does it.
I get spammed.
Zach likes getting spam though, so you know. But spam, if it was
I got to find out what's going on with their business whenever. That's how you go onto Facebook.
man. So like that's one thing too is like as a business we're looking to kind of to slow down and formalize, and we've been kind of out there, you know, passing the hat around trying to raise this thing into a legitimate business because I believe that our brand and our format and what we've been able to do in such a short time really makes us stand out and really shows that we have the creative mind between me and Zach, and we have the drive and the hustle and the great support people around us. And you know, we did this all on ourselves. I mean, this isn't like us going out there and hiring all the big names that, you know, have been producing events and doing all that. We did this all with ourselves. We brought our own production team. We did it all from our community. And that's something big, man. Like you don't see that many places. Most people are trying to hire or do this, or they don't have the network. And I do. I was able to, you know, through the gym and through the music industry.
We were able to find our lighting guys the day before. It was like a couple days before.
When we did
we did a
podcast.
Yeah, we did a podcast.
And I was like, hey, can you bring out some extra lights and make it
Yeah,
look like
and their producer Tegan, who's now our production manager, he was like, "Oh, I got a lighting, like I got a lighting company. Like I can get trusses out there and lights." And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it."
And so I tell him, I'm like, dude, this is what I'm looking at. I want to do like a WWF walkout. And
we were
all
having
this stuff.
audio issues, so he even helped us during that. And we're like, "All right, you." He's like, "Yeah, I got a guy that can do the production stuff, and he does Fight TV or Fight."
Diego, yeah, they just Fight TV. They do like the Fury stuff and all the other.
Yeah, so we're like, let's do it. So
I think we're gonna hang out in this segment a little bit longer. I'm enjoying talking about some stuff, but yeah. So we're going through. You know, we get through there. Flo picks us up, and then our second event, we get there, and it was kind of like okay, like we're gonna put our dick on the table. We're gonna say that we're here. This is who we are. This is our brand, and we would literally put
hot middle of summer.
Oh my God, it was hot. But
we had an outdoor
pitch 25 was amazing though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was, but like people were cutting weight and wanted to start rehydrating at weigh-ins, and it was like you could not, you could not. You were just continue to drop weight.
But yeah, that was an amazing. I mean, turnout. I mean, we definitely had to. We learned a lot about ourselves as a business that event and what not to do and what to do, and we really were able to, you know, tighten things up and you know, move on. And then after that, we got into some litigation because we were getting really badass. And we realized we were getting really badass. And we were like, you know what? Maybe if we were really badass and we did it all ourselves, maybe we could make a bunch of money. And that wasn't the right move. So when you're under contract. So, you know, whatever. No hard feelings. We would have probably done the same thing in their shoes. So I can't say anything bad about it. We learned a lot through the process, me going back and forth to Austin, meeting with you know, different counsel and learning about, you know, the business and seeing
learning what it's like to get sued.
Yeah, I mean, you get $1 million lawsuit laid down, it's a different kind of feeling. It was delivered to your house, right? Like they were like, here you go, you're served.
No, they served our agents.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was
we have a registered agent.
But that stuff was I think it was necessary, and I'm glad we went through it. I mean, all things considered. And, you know, we're better as a company, and I think our relationship with our distributor now is a lot better now because of it too. So there's some mutual respect now. So, but yeah, we went through that, and then we went into 3CG3. And in between this, you know, we're doing our kids events that we just had a real successful first one.
Did we do another qualifiers in between 3CG?
No, we did quals 2. We did 2.
Yeah, we did quals 2. And then we did 3CG 3 in December.
The big Bo Nickel Gordon thing that really kind of did great for us, which is like 3CG4 has the same sort of. I think 3CG4 is the best all-around card I've ever put together. I think it's the best all-around card I've ever seen in grappling in terms of depth. Like every match is fire. Every local match is fire. Like, it's just the whole card. Like you're not going to want to leave your seat.
Yeah.
And then the you know, I went ahead. You know, y'all heard me and Zach talk about it last podcast when we were talking about the Royal Rumble and all this stuff.
Royal Humble.
And so, you know, I went off on my little obsessive way and sort of obsessing over it. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to have all these VIPs in town, all these sponsors coming out to check us out and all this cool stuff. Like, we're going to have a packed house, a sold-out house. Right. I'm going to do the Royal Rumble
Before you continue, I'm going to tell you the quintessential Ryan. So we have different group texts based off, or like I say, Facebook Messenger group of different people from, different parts of our businesses. And he goes, "Hey guys, I want to do this," and lays it out and said, I want your feedback. And then 2 seconds later goes, "By feedback, I want you to give me actual feedback." And then 3 seconds later, people were like, "Cool idea." Like 2 people, I think, said, "Cool, awesome." And then 3 seconds later, it's posted on Facebook. All right.
Like I told Zach though, like I was like,
Patience is not his cup of tea.
but it's not, because I'm already ready to do that when I come to you guys. Like I already have everything done. I've already thought it out. I've already done everything.
That's what I say. Just do it.
But I don't want to just do that because it's rude. I'm gonna do it anyways.
Don't humor me.
I mean, you're different, but unless there's like a serious flaw with the idea or there's something that I missed, because I'm pretty open to, fixing stuff unless it's content.
Yeah, like Oliver was the first one to bring up the name rights of trademarks.
Yeah, shout out producer Oliver, and I'm like, and then we got a message saying, "Hey, you're gonna probably get sued by these guys."
Yeah.
But we're gonna do the first ever live grappling royale. My idea is, like we talked about it before. Why not just try and make pro wrestling real? Like do some of the cool match ideas they've done in pro wrestling, but make it real.
Yeah.
Like a triple threat match, a Royal Rumble, a table.
Yeah, you gotta try to tap them within how long? 3 minutes?
So it's basically going to be number 1 and number 2 when they draw it from the 10. We'll start in the mats. Every minute, a new fighter is going to run out from our walkway with their music hitting, and they're going to come down, jump in, and they're all going to go at it, and it's just going to keep going, and it's submission only until there's only one left.
Hopefully we're out there all night.
No, it's not going to be all night. It's going to be chaotic. It's blue belts. The blue belts I'm picking are picked specifically. I mean, they're super scrappy.
How many of them are on the same team?
I think there's going to be 3 on this one team and 3 on the other, and then I have our friend Chris Hickey's going to come out.
Oh, nice. Where did he go?
He went out to Arkansas or like Tennessee or some
like
shit.
Permanently, or?
Yeah, he's working with some troubled kids' homes and stuff, helping them
I
bring them up.
I was like, it seemed like he'd gone for a while.
No, we've stayed in touch a lot, man. We've talked a lot since he's been competing and doing well and training in the sticks with them hillbillies.
Shout out Sanjak football.
Go Sanjak Eagles or whatever, Falcons. But no,
Sanjak didn't have a football team.
Yeah, but he's jumping in. There's a few other. I have it all. I mean, I just gotta pick the people out. I have like probably 30 people asking to be on it. Like everybody, I looked at our Instagram and like they're like, oh, it won't add much value. I don't know about this. People like being all like apprehensive, and I'm like, that's the most liked post we ever had on Instagram. Was announcing we were gonna do the Grapple Royale. So to the naysayers, I just say, we know what we're doing. We've been doing this for a little bit.
How much backlash do we have on the co-ed tag team event?
We had a little bit of backlash, but then afterwards,
we had a lot. People were like, "This is." Oh yeah, once it happened, people were like, "Oh okay," but for a lot of people, they were responding off of clickbait titles, which was like,
I loved it.
3CG first to do a man versus female. And nobody reads fucking articles anymore.
Bro, that's what I'm telling you. Like, that was the level of detail I get to with this stuff.
Yeah.
Is I talk to the editor and I'm like, let's find the most clickbaity titles we can find for this. Like, people aren't.
And people that come up to me and say, I've talked to a lot of people that don't agree with this. I go, have you read the article? And they're like, no. And I go, it's a tag team match and it's 2 guys, 2 girls, right? And they're like, oh. It's like, dude, read the article. Like, stop reading. Like, nobody reads articles.
We're living in like a Twitter like generation where if it's over 160 characters, you're losing them.
Yeah.
That's why like when we do our events, I'm not sitting 40, 50 fucking matches out there with majority of them either going to draws or decisions or whatever, and just sitting out there and just making it fun. It's not fun. That's not fun. None of that is. Like, the whole format is not fun. Like, sitting there and just putting 50 matches on and then people just going out there that have never like competed in their lives, and they're just
it's fun for the competitor.
That's all it's fun for. But the spectator is fucking sitting there wishing they were in the dentist chair. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, man, like it's visual anesthesia. And that's like the issue here.
I've actually never been to besides ADCC, I've never been to a grappling.
I've been to a lot. Like, I've been to Fight to Win, and I love
never been to a Fight to Win, never been to Submission Hunter or any of them.
Yeah, and I loved Fight to Win their event. But, like Submission Hunter, those guys, Eric has a different model. He's not...
I don't want to get jaded, or not jaded, but like, I pride we do stuff innovative. So if I see too much of other stuff, like, I don't want to be like... I want it like the best to be influenced by, like UFC.
Well, like I'm the same way. I don't follow any. The only promotion I follow on Instagram is Fight to Win and Polaris, because Seth's a friend of ours, and then the guys at Polaris I really like.
Grapplefest.
Oh, Grapplefest too, yeah, our UK partners. But that's it. Like, I don't follow anybody. I don't follow any of these matchmakers or these promoters. I don't want to hear any of their shit. Like, everything we're doing is off the cuff. It's us. It's innovative. It's original. It's usually a little impulsive. You know, it's us.
That's his middle name.
Impulsive. Yeah. I don't know. That could be my rap name or like my
That would be your fight name.
or my trance like DJ name. DJ Impulsive.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
It's kind of bad.
What's your house music sound like?
I don't know.
Just you doing one hump and then finishing.
I don't know. I didn't want to. But no, it's
Practice.
But I mean, getting back to like our event timeline, what we did with 3CG2, that was effectively our chance to really hack the industry and say, "Hey, motherfuckers, we're here. We're doing our thing." And you know what? Like, there's all this Substars hysteria going on right now. I kind of made a post saying how like Substars hysteria is worse than
Kinda
Corona.
made a post.
Substars hysteria is worse than the coronavirus. Like right now, everybody is so scared about, oh my God, are these guys gonna pay us and all this? And I'm like, look, just because we're the newest kid on the block doesn't mean we're fucking
We're
like
not the newest kid on the block.
or whoever.
Like,
I don't know.
We've done this rodeo. Like we've done it over and over.
This is our
again.
4th major event. We've done a kid event. We've done 3. Like we're almost at number 10. Like this isn't like new to us.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here. Yeah, you know what? We don't have rich big backers. We don't have money from a lot of those avenues. We've done this a lot of ourselves and by one of our other partners. So it's.
But we know we don't have to rely on a certain amount of viewers. Like we basically got the ESPN deal with
With the-
Flow,
yeah,
and that we know we're going to get. So
But instead
we can budget our things off of that, and we know what we're going to get from ticket revenue because we've done it, 2 times already here. So we know what we're going to get, and we can backtrack from that and not have to predict, well, we might get this many buys from pay-per-view, and that's why the pay-per-view model is super risky.
You want to know like the pay-per-view model? What's wrong with it is nobody's fucking done it right. Metamorphs didn't do it right. Metamorphs was way before its time. Like that was way the internet wasn't there, the industry wasn't there. You didn't have the influencers like Gordon Ryan and stuff that can really stir up interest. So the pay-per-view market is there. Like if Substars really did like 3,000 view or buys like they're saying, and they marketed and they did such that shitty of a job, I mean. I know that guys like us, I know that we could probably go out there and we could put a $10,000 buy pay-per-view on, or 10,000 buy pay-per-view.
It's too stressful.
It's way too stressful. Like Flow Grappling is literally a platform full of people that love jiu-jitsu.
I don't even think Kasai could do it. Kasai couldn't do it.
Well, no, Kasai couldn't do it at all. Like Kasai, I'm telling you, I love their their production.
They put the most amount of money in their production out of any other event, and they would not risk
because if you're looking at like the grappling sphere as like Democrat or Republican or left or right and centrist, like you would have on the far left Kasai, traditionalists we really like,
that far right.
Far left is Democrats. Like, oh yeah, far right, you're right. Yeah, it's more conservative, more yeah, you're right. So they're more conservative, more we're Brazilian, we're gonna stick to the pride.
Well,
and
the CEO is Brazilian.
Well, no, but Carlos Gracie has got a last name of Gracie. So,
he's the president.
Yeah, so he's a great guy, by the way, too. In the times I've dealt with him, but you'd have on the far right, you'd have them. On the far left, you would have like kind of like us.
Well, no,
And then
I'd say high rollers. That's probably way far left.
Yeah, so they're like Bernie Sanders. Like I think we're more like Barack Obama, like kind of leaning the innovator, the change, the big visionary. I think that's
I never thought you'd compare Thurkos Grappling to Barack Obama, but okay.
Look, man, like I never agreed with his politics, but I really love listening.
We want change.
Change we can believe in.
Change and
see, I like to think that we're a mix of Barack Obama and Donald Trump because we're making grappling great again.
And a little bit of George W. in there.
Just a little bit. Come over here, Puddin'.
Fool me once.
Shame on me. Fool me twice.
You ain't gonna shame me again. You ain't gonna fool me again.
But no, man. Like that's just how we are down here, man. We're just out here. We're trying to throw badass shows, and people are either gonna like us.
And we appreciate the fighters that want to be a part of it.
Exactly.
That's it. That's what it comes down to.
You can ask anybody that we've done good business with, and they will tell you how we are. Like any of this other hysteria or other bullshit that, like I told you about, is just predicated on fear. Because you know what? This shit happening with Substars is the worst thing that could have happened to the jiu-jitsu industry. bar none. Because everybody was just getting over Metamoris. There was like Seth Daniels, for instance, for Fight to Win. He's put so much work into like formalizing like the pay structure, and he's shown that longevity is the name of the game, and he has the model that can list out there. But then there's people that come out there like Substars that just hire a bunch of people, or they get these managers and say, hey man, book my card for me. And those managers are just going to try and get as much money as they can for their guys, look out for their affiliation, and that's all that matters. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's business.
How much do you think those sumo wrestlers cost?
I don't know, but like I said, I was talking to Orlando Sanchez.
Expensive flights.
You pay for the gram. Pay by the gram.
Oh.
I was talking to Big O, Orlando Sanchez, on Facebook, and he was just like, this fucking celebrity sumo stuff was the dumbest shit in the world. I was like, dude, I had to look at Anthony Rumble Johnson in a diaper and a guy with boobs bigger than my chick just fucking hanging out.
The way to do it would have like Mikey Musumeci go up against
Yokozuna or whoever the fuck that was.
Do jiu-jitsu against each other. Do grappling, not do sumo.
Like, dude, they were literally going over there and grabbing each other by their little sumo diapers and lifting them up and sticking them out of bounds.
I saw way too much of Rumble. I didn't need to see.
Dude, and imagine this. Like, this is
Saul Rumbles Johnson.
This is the worst part, though. Like, these guys went out there, these big, muscular UFC black dudes, and they had a fucking diaper on in front of everybody, and they didn't get paid for it.
No,
That's the fucking worst. Like, that is, like...
I'd be like, you want me to wear this?
You better pay me up front.
You better pay me up front. Like, we wear what?
Dude, like... I think about it, and like that guy's a combat vet. Like I did some research a little bit.
I feel super bad for him. Like,
I feel bad for him too. I empathize with him.
I feel really bad for him. I hope he can figure it out because it's a tough position that he's in. I don't envy the position, and I hope he can figure it out. I really do.
I got fired up over it for a little bit initially, and in my own impulsive way, just went out and said, but you know what? I was really deeply kind of involved in conversations on the back end. I know the guy, Josh, who does their pay-per-view. I know a lot of people that were on the inner workings, and we've been talking about these red flags for at least a month. And, from us being basically that was our pay-per-view model that they went out there and basically tried to do.
Yeah.
We knew it was
let other people fail.
Like, thanks for showing us that our idea was shit. We already knew it was shit, which is why we didn't do it.
Didn't do it, yeah.
So, congratulations. But, I felt really bad, too, for that guy because, he seemed like a squared away kid, but his apology on Instagram, it looked like he was like an Al-Qaeda fucking hostage video.
Yeah.
Like, he was just
about to walk behind him
and behead his ass. I was
like Gordon comes behind him and chokes him out to death.
And pulls a bag of money out of his body. Fatality. No, but it was, I don't know, man. Like that guy seems like a nice guy, but everybody told me that he just didn't know what he was doing. And he was surrounding himself with people.
But this isn't even his first event, right?
Well, they basically did a bunch of Scout Bar events. But not without not the.
And they're like, we're going to scale it.
And they're immediately scaled, whereas we did gradually. We did our first Scout Bar event, did another qualifiers to perfect it, and we were like, we were like, let's go.
Yeah.
We can't do another big event at Scout Bar. We already showed that we are like in our first event. We need a new place.
Cops being called on us.
Like there was a line. Like I don't know. That's one of my favorite memories is walking out there with my camera and literally.
I actually was like, man, this is horrible. I thought it was horrible.
I loved it.
I thought it was horrible because these people are not going to be like having a good time because it's so crowded.
But you know what? Like
that's what my thought was like the customer service aspect of it of like
we didn't have screens anywhere either. Like everybody could only see the stage standing up, and then they hit the ground and nobody could see anything.
Yeah, so nobody could see anything. People are like, I'm trying to work the camera stuff, and people are like, is there any way you can get that up here? I'm like, no, I can't.
Man, like we pulled, like I'm telling you, like I literally walked that damn line that people.
There's people sitting at tables watching it on Flow Grappling.
Yeah,
like, that's how bad it was.
Yeah,
I was not happy.
And so I put in, and me and Zach both put in a ton of work on the production end, and I said this will never fucking happen again. And from then on, it's been like, oh, you want to see our matches? Don't worry, we got about 25 screens for you.
Yeah,
like. We got a projector over there. We got a video wall here. We got TVs with it all on. So I don't want to hear none of your shit anymore. If you can't see it, you know what? Go to the fucking eye doctor because there's TVs and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but that it's been a really cool ride. 3CG3 was really I think when we started getting hair on our chest and it was like, okay, let's do this. And look, we've had some struggles leading up to this, but thank God the matchups have stayed pretty much in line the whole time. We didn't have any major shakeups at the top three, and I guess we'll jump in from here into our
preview our top 3 matches.
So we'll start with Pat Downey and Nicky Rod. So those guys, man.
Who we had Nicky Rod on our last episode interview. Go check that out if you missed it.
He's Nicky Rod's such a good dude, man. Like he could have been on Jersey Shore, but he would have been like the polite one getting all the pussy. Like he would have been like the perfect gentleman. Because dude, the guy is a savage, but he's literally like the nicest human being ever.
Yeah, he's super cool.
So it's cool. Always talk to Nick.
Coming off the heels of the Gordon Ryan Pat Downey match, now what are you thinking?
I mean,
with under our rule set, which I think that match between Gordon and him would have been way more compelling if it was like our rule set.
Well, Gordon's been getting kind of drugged lately on social media because Pat Downey's like, I lasted 20 minutes in yours, you lasted 20 seconds in mine, fuck you.
And Gordon, his point was he was trying to do 80cc rules, but why would you do 80cc rules if you don't have to? I know he was trying to prove a point.
If you prove a point, you go out there and submit them as fast as you can.
Yeah, but I just don't agree with I was playing under a different rule set as the reason. Like play under the rules that you have, which is, whoever you tap them.
Well, I've been saying it on social media this week.
If it's jiu-jitsu, you don't have to take them down.
I've been saying crossover matches have to have crossover rules.
Was pulling illegal in their match?
The wrestling one?
No, in their jiu-jitsu one.
No, but in ADCC you get a -1 if you pull.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. There wasn't ADCC rules.
No, they did use ADCC rule scoring. ADCC scoring, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So I watched it and I sent Gordon a text right afterwards, and I go, I'm taking that $20 out of your paycheck. But no, I'm just kidding.
I thought that was a little steep too for pay-per-view wise.
Yeah, and I talked to Michael Zinga over there from BJJ Fanatics, and he said that hey, like they didn't dictate the ticket price. That they got the deal done with Fight TV, and they were just doing what they're going to do. We hope to do some business with Michael though, and those guys soon. So we hope to. Those guys are changing the game for instructionals. I mean, if you want an instructional, you want to up your DVD or your jiu-jitsu game, you go to bjjfanatics.com and you check it out.
And you use Third Coast as your discount code.
And you know what? You might save a
Ryan
little
never
money.
Pushes that.
You know what? I pushed a code today because we got a new sponsor that we're kind of bringing on board, like more, Kimura soap. And these guys, all organic. It's like some of the best stuff. They're sending us a care package right now, and all the athletes at 3CG4 will be getting nice kind of goodie bags from Kimura Soap Co. So it's
you gonna walk away with soap.
Like, look, if we don't pay you, at least we don't pay you, at least you'll have some soap.
Best soap in the game.
You know what I'm saying?
You can wash that loss off.
No, they can wash, being broke off after we stiff all of them. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Bad timing for bad jokes.
I don't really give a fuck anymore. Like, you know what, man? We've risen above this. We've done what we said we're going to do, and we've done it without any of the big sport. Like, these guys are like, I've been in the business for a million years, and, I didn't have any investors, and I didn't have any sponsors, and I didn't do this. And all I say to that is fucking good for you. Congratulations. You worked harder than us to get where we're at. Congratulations. And I mean, what do you want me to say? Like,
yeah, I mean, even Metamoris, they were taking everything is built off of other people's ideas. Like, there wouldn't be UFC if boxing never exists. Like, there wouldn't have been a Metamoris if UFC never existed. Like, everything is built off of something else.
Yeah,
so to say like we copied somebody specifically, like
we didn't copy nobody.
Well, we utilized we didn't come up with the idea of doing a grappling promotion.
No, that was Fight to Win, and like those guys, like
it was everybody that has a grappling promotion, right? Like, so in an aspect, we did copy that idea of there can be a grappling promotion. What we didn't copy was maybe some of the way we do production, and that's being innovative is taking what is out there and, putting a different spin on it.
Yeah. And, when it comes to, what we did, Zach will tell you that from day one, I've only talked about innovating, being different. Oh, these guys do this. Well, how can we do it different? What can we do? Like, how can we go about this and improve it? Because you know what? Like I said, when I entered the industry, the best event that I had seen thus far was EBI and then Fight to Win. And even Fight to Win, they do a lot of, the same format, and they, Seth has a very profitable and a good model.
ADCC, but that was not like that. You could only do that kind of event once every 2 years.
No,
Like,
ADCC was incredible. It was a
Yeah.
great event. But the thing about that too,
I was burnt out on jiu-jitsu by the end of that. Like, after 2 days of
Me and Zach were
straight
sitting-
jiu-jitsu, I was just like, oh
we were
my
like
God.
a little hungover, sitting up in there at like 10 a.m. drinking Bloody Marys.
Yeah, they were selling Bloody Marys.
So me and Zach are just sitting there getting kind of buzzed up, watching Buchecha fight Gary Tonin or some wild shit. I don't know what was going on in the absolute, but it was so much. I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack watching all 3 matches at once. Like,
Yeah, it was intense because you would like see one on the screen and look the one in front of you, and there was like at one point 3 of the biggest matches you can imagine all going at one time. I'm like, who do I watch? Like,
And I'm like, Zach, I don't know what to do. And so we would like walk across the arena to the other side to get a different vantage point, and then we'd come back, go to the middle, and we'd come back, and we kind of just rotate, and then we go out. We met a sponsor out there, like Kicksite, when we you know those guys. Like, we did some good business. We made some matches. We shook some hands. So look, here's a tip I'll give you, upstart grappling promoters. If you want to meet people, you got to go out to places. You got to go to the World Championships. You got to go to ADCC. You got to go to these events. You got to meet these promoters and meet, because the industry's small, man. Like, just meet people, talk to them, like, and make them feel warm. Sending an IG message and doing all this stuff so informally, I mean, that's only going to get you so far. I'm to the point now to where I'm like, I'm sending you a voice message or I'm not typing you nothing, because as a society, we started like moving towards like text communication because it was more efficient, and because people, it was just more, and people that had anxiety about face-to-face stuff, it kept people connected. But I think the more we went to that, the more you see people starting to shy away from text-based communication, because as I know personally, like, my words and my texts and my emails can be misconstrued vastly based on rather than what my actual intent was, regardless of what, because people are only going to go off of that. And if they don't have a lot of experience with you face to face or in like a, that kind of.
you shouldn't have a conversation through text. You should be, let somebody know about something, but like full on, like pick up my phone, I got like 8 missed messages from you. I'm like, because you'll type something and enter, like
It's like a thought. It's like a stream of consciousness.
I know, but it like blows up my phone. Like, you got 20 notifications. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, it's just Ryan. Like,
exactly. Look, man. Look, we're just
how you text is a little crazy. But
look, our business.
you'll do like 2 words, send, and then like 5 words, and then like a paragraph. I'm like, what? Why did you just send it all at once?
I'm literally showing you through text how my
Like,
brain.
Oliver's laughing. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It's just how my brain works, man. Why are you hating on my beautiful mind over here?
Dude,
like,
your
what are you
brain's
fucking doing?
blowing up my phone.
Hey, it's not about blowing up your phone. We have to communicate. You run a business. You do your thing during the day. I've got
just
only
saying
me,
how you
baby. I'm
communicate
rolling one.
is hilarious.
I'm rolling one deep over here. It gets lonely. Sometimes I want to put on a little Phil Collins. Text you 12 times.
Every time I call Ryan, he goes, Google, pause. Because
I'm always listening to like some music.
Hey,
or
Google, shut up. Don't let them listen to me. Let them listen to me hearing Britney Spears up in here.
No, because I listen to like, the older I get, like I found this like playlist, and it just kind of led me down a rabbit hole. It's called lo-fi beats. So it's like these chill, like lo-fi, like hip hop beats with no words. Because when I'm trying to focus on work.
Oh yeah, I got this app called Brain FM that I listen to. That like it has different music for like focus or like relaxing.
Yeah,
or
that's kind of how.
studying,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like the music to a soundtrack or something. Like it's not like
It's like dramatic themes and stuff. Like when I watch some of our videos and stuff like that, I would just get raw footage. And Lisa, my wife, gets so tripped out because I'll just put it on the big speakers and I'll go and find music that I want to score it with, and I'll just blare it through the speakers while I'm watching the raw video while me and Nava are working. And I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. And I'm like, this video, and I'll send Nava the song. I'll be like, all right, I've been blaring this at home for the past hour watching the video. I think this is the best way to go. But man, but yeah, getting back to that, it's how I am, man. Like, you don't fucking like it, like, turn your notifications off.
they're off. They're off. They've been off. It's still.
No,
That's why I don't respond right away, because I have to like go to my phone, and I can't stand the red dots on certain things. So I don't get notified when I get text. But whenever I go to my phone and I see like 8 red,
like the red dots on the
circle on the messages, I'm like,
so that's why you should go to Android. We don't have that mess over here. So.
No, I'm not retarded.
So no, you literally
sorry,
are.
I used the R word.
The hard R. Like, that's a hard R. That was a retarded thing to say.
True.
No, but getting back to that, like, communication for me, I communicate on so many different mediums, so many different ways, because look, a lot of people have these. Oh,
You say a beautiful mind. I say a simple mind. No, simple Jack.
Simple plan.
Simple Jack.
Simple plan. It's a great band.
Simple Plan. Yeah, back in like 2000, maybe.
Welcome to my life.
Simple Plan.
No, but yeah, man, like
Yellow Card.
yeah, they're a great one too. Ocean Avenue. Come on, man. That takes me back to high school.
Empty Apartment, I think it was my favorite.
But yeah, I saw you got interested in the Deftones coming to town.
Dude,
in
Deftones
September.
are like one of my favorite bands
I
of all
didn't
time.
know that, but my friend really legit is like he tour manages for Limp Bizkit and the Deftones, and every time he comes into town, it's like Limp Bizkit hasn't
I've seen them like five or six times.
I think I'm like 10 or 12. I'm way up there.
I fucking love the Deftones.
So I think maybe me, you, and Oliver, we have to do a 3CG radio trip.
I'll be down. I've dragged Jackie to way too many Deftone concerts that she's like, I don't.
Lisa, my wife, will probably want to go. She loves the Deftones. So
Yeah, Jackie's more into the what is it?
or like they're one of their side projects.
Death Cab for Cutie.
Dude,
and like
that's what was playing when you called me earlier. I was listening to Death Cab for Cutie radio.
She likes that kind of older, like Yellow Car and.
Well, Lisa, my wife's into the same stuff, so like all the like old indie music, like Lord Huron and all these like.
I like Lord Huron.
Yeah, I like them. I listen to all that. Like
I like Americana music too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're real into like what's his name? You went to a concert. What's his name?
Sturgill Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sturgill's awesome.
Yeah, those are good. That's good stuff.
Trial by Truckers.
But when you communicate in a business like ours, it's me and Zach and Lisa day to day, Oliver, and then we have a big team that expands to about almost 30 on event day. So day to day, a lot of people, like I said, they go out there, they try to hire and delegate and get all these people involved. You have to do it yourself until you can't do it yourself anymore. Is a way, and like
and then you expand.
And like Zach, he handles, basically the lion's share of the accounting and the back and the financials and the backing of all that. Me, I'm just full on operations. I mean, the big idea guy, the one that's out there creating and innovating, and me and Zach are, he's shown himself to be kind of like a master problem solver. So we're able to really kind of troubleshoot our events in a way. I kind of have a secret tactic I do after our events that really helps me see things a little differently.
Yeah, let's not talk
but let's not talk about that afterward. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm not really kidding. But yeah, I mean, let's get back to where we were at, top 3 matches. So Nicky Rod, Pat Downey.
Yeah, we covered that last time. So let's go into the JT Torres, which we've done a making the match of that one too.
Yeah, so why don't we talk about...
have we talked about Gordon Gaudio?
I don't think we dove into that too much. So Gordon Ryan versus Patrick Gaudio is a rematch from 2018 Nogi World. So that's when Gordon was like, I'm going to go into your IBJJF rules and I'm going to show all you fucking Brazilians that I'm still the man and blah, blah, blah. Well, he went in there and Patrick Gaudio...
Can you imagine how much of a pain in the ass he was at the rules meeting?
Oh, man. Because he's a pain in the ass at our rules meeting.
No, he wasn't.
Well, he's just kind of... He's very... The thing with Gordon is like GSP. Like these guys are cerebral. Like they... research, they read everything, they know the rules. Like the difference between Gordon and a Pat Downey is Pat Downey's like, I don't read the fucking rules, I just show up. like super meathead style. But talking to Pat, he's the same way as like a Gordon and me to an extent.
He's got to know the details about the rules and making sure.
Well, he's super different. Like you got this debunking season, acting all crazy and cocky. In person, super cool guy.
Yeah, it's a persona.
Yeah, it's all, and that's kind of like what I'm doing. And people are getting so mad. They're like, Ryan's controlling. Ryan's got an ego, and I'm like, you have to have a little bit of ego to be a promoter, because if you're promoting a product, you're literally going out there and selling something that you believe in passionately. Especially if I'm out there selling something like this, it's something I truly believe in and something I'm very passionate about. And to have that, you have to think that you're the shit or that what you're doing is the best.
We had this Ryan rant already.
Yeah, but in case you missed it, you can check out episode number 2.
2 or 3.
I'm just kidding. No,
One of the Ryan rants.
No, there's no ranting going on here. But, it is what it is, man. Like, you got to have passion and do what you got to do. But, yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, nobody... Well, I guess some people do, but nobody goes into let's say you work for Discount Tires and hey, let me tell you how to put on a tire. Everyone's got their own opinion on how you should do your job, but how many people are criticizing how you do your job? Dude, if it's not your job, then don't worry about it.
There was a guy on my thing lately is on Instagram or Reddit, when I see somebody out there unfairly digging into it, I get them. I go after them.
I'm not gonna out your
my persona.
Your persona.
No, but
Reddit persona.
But no, I'm not even doing any of that crazy shit. On our Instagram, this guy came in on the tag team announcement. It was like, does anybody else think this is the most retarded thing you've ever heard of?
He used a hard R?
Yeah, dude, super hard. And so I was very offended. It really hurt me. So I was like, it was a photography Instagram page. And I went to his page and I go, well, it looks like the only person retarded is the person who ever took those photos on your page. And it got like a bunch of, and then he deleted it and all that stuff and messaged me. And was like, oh man, I was just joking around. I've been training and,
Those are trolls. I mean, the people just troll. Like, I think it literally is just sad people that they have no power in their real life. So the only power they can exert is being a troll on the internet.
Because they're faceless. They think that they can hide. But you know what? I am a reform troll. That's why I'm really good at this. I was like the worst, dude. I was the worst.
Did you call me fucking clown shoes?
No, but I was the worst. And I still have those tendencies.
I could totally see that.
I was the worst troll in the world. Like, I was very unhappy too. So there's something to say with that. Like, I identify. I was 300 plus pounds. I was snorting cocaine. I was drinking everything in sight.
Yeah, like
I was eating Whataburger at 2 a.m. every day.
If like you are like
You're not happy
spare my
if you're-
time.
you're
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
happy
spend
if
my
you're doing that.
time like just bringing people down, especially successful people.
You're not happy.
and I'm gonna tell them how they're not doing good because that makes me feel better. It's like it's just sad.
It's the saddest thing is that
It's
they don't
like
know they're
Yelp
sad.
review writers. Like, you're just sad.
Like they feel like I've never felt more like I've started to be more inclined lately because I realized the value of good reviews to businesses. But like we stayed out at the lake or
I'm
whatever.
talking about negative reviews. You're just fucking over. Like,
But usually it's just like
unless they are like, the worst company of all time. But like really, just go on with your life. Like, who cares?
Well, like apartments and stuff like that, they tell us all the time, like, you can't go read those readings. It's usually somebody that didn't pay their bills, or they didn't do this, or they didn't do this, or, there was just it's always two sides to every story. So if you're that mad to where you're going to go log in, register, confirm your account, type up a big rant and post it on.
It is
that's
it is
an
a
issue.
leverage to get something, though. You can be like, you're going to pay me my deposit back.
I've done
or
that.
I'm going to go and do a campaign against whatever.
So me and Lisa, when our car got stolen, we took it over to a Ron Hudson Collision or whatever it was in League City. And they took over a month just to get her little Subaru that was messed up in the front.
I'm surprised you found it. Like,
Yeah,
getting stolen and found is unheard of.
Dude, that's the craziest story too. So Lisa's all distraught, and I'm like, man, I feel like such a failure as a husband. I was like, I've done crazy shit. I've lived in deserts, and I've done crazy fucking like weird like out there shit. So I was like, everything has a GPS on it these days, like especially a Subaru.
Yeah, but most of the
your car's
most
a
of them
lease.
take out the CPU and replace it like that. Chevy 1500s are the #1 stolen car in Houston.
I have a Chevy 1500.
Yeah, and you know what? If it's new, they're gonna steal it. If it's not new, they're gonna steal your CPU because that's what they're gonna
Swap over.
That's what they're gonna swap into. They'll take an older one that doesn't have like OnStar, and they'll swap it. 15 and Chevy will do nothing about this, even though they are. It's so easy to steal a Chevy. Because it's not safety related.
Guys, I don't own a Chevy 1500.
Dude, your shit's gonna get stolen.
What kind of partner are you? Like, what's going partner in crime? Are you going to set up the steal?
I
Is
didn't.
that what you're going to do?
I didn't.
Are you setting me up over here, fucker?
I didn't make you choose to get the most stolen vehicle in Houston.
No, but now you're like making me feel threatened. So maybe I need to go get like a high. Remember those? What were they called?
Yeah,
back?
club. Get a club.
The club, yeah,
for
just stick it
sure.
on
They
there.
can't steal it if you have a club.
Not at all.
If you have a Chevy 1500, get a club.
I'm getting.
And
a
I'm
club.
serious.
Hey, give me a club for Christmas next time. You got me an Astros jersey this last Christmas.
No, I got it for your birthday.
No, yeah, but get me a club next time.
Yeah. Well, that won't stop you from leaving your wallet in your car, but that's a
But
different
they won't be able
story.
to steal the car with my wallet in it. So.
Right.
But yeah, so, but yeah, the way the car was stolen was I was sitting there and we lease it from Subaru in Clear Lake. So it's like, I was like, hold on. So I call Subaru and I'm like, oh, you got this feature. Like, oh, it's not activated. So I had to pay like 200 something bucks, but they activated. And within like 12 hours, like the Woodlands police located it and it had been wrecked and that there was like a big rain flood. And then they found like a bong, like there was like when we went to like to go pick it up at, where the lot was, there was a bong just sitting in the console right there. And then there was like stab marks in the side of that. Like the guy was like stabbing her car.
So it sounds like Mike and the boys had a number in your
and
car.
then they left like these weird like Dungeons and Dragon dice. So maybe Coach Ricky stole her car. So I mean,
It's starting to add up.
so
You know
knives.
where you lived.
Yeah.
You're irresponsible. Leave the keys in the car.
Coach Ricky, you're going to be getting a call from the League City detectives. So I hope you're
Ryan
ready for
used
that.
the car stolen excuse for everything. I'd be like, "Hey, where's the key that I gave you to the office?" He's like, Oh, it got stolen in the car. I'm like, why would it be in the car?
Guys, look, guys. Like I had a brain injury in my formative years, so sometimes I do forget things. It's not. I have a good heart.
Ryan has great excuses, doesn't he? He's even bringing up brain injuries.
Hey, I'm not ever going to admit anything. If our president has taught us anything, you never admit you're wrong.
You deflect.
Because you always keep that plausible deniability out there in the open to, to kind of muddy the waters a bit if need be.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap it up.
So no, wait, hold on. So what? So
no,
today
we're wrapping it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to wrap up.
Yeah.
Today, we had some big freaking. We had a lot of people on the mat because Flow Grappling came in and Professor Draculino beforehand. He's like, "Hey, we have 2 big events coming. We have the Houston Open coming up this weekend, which me and Ryan will be participating in. So come check us out." And then he's like, "And 3CG's coming up, so let's everyone take it easy." And nobody took it easy. It was the most intense training I've seen. Brian Cushing was there. What did Brian say about it? Because he typically goes to West Chase, and those guys are like huge and you can't wait 5
sorry,
minutes.
I was on my phone for a second. I shouldn't even picked it up, but Aller doesn't know how to work Facebook Live. But no, it was awesome. So we do a lot of our own content. We do a lot of our own stuff because you know what? Nobody's going to market you or promote you or like you will. So Reed from Flow reached out a few days ago and was like, "Hey man, we want to come down from Austin, shoot some footage. Can you get some stuff happening or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I call Brian Cushing. I'm saying, "Hey, can you come out?" So he takes some time off from the facility. They're getting ready for the draft and all that. So he comes out, and then Professor Drac, reaches out to like a lot of the MMA guys, like UFC Alex Morano, Juliana Lima, a lot of good like UFC or former UFC athletes, and then our big black belts and stuff. And it was just such a great turnout, man. It was
like somebody was getting promoted.
I don't know. It was like a grand opening of a school or something. It was great, man. Like to have all that talent, and I think there was like over 15 black belts there, and just
it was awesome.
And getting in all the training, everybody trained with everybody. And my favorite thing is we train here all the time, so we're like used to it. But people were like, "Is this how it always is?" I
mean, it was a little bit more intense, I think. Maybe because right? Maybe because the cameras were there.
No, I'll tell Oliver. On the night classes, we'd get it like that.
I go to the night classes too.
No, you barely go to the night classes.
I go on Wednesday. That's an intense one.
Monday nights are usually like the big, intense, advanced class.
Well, you ain't showing it, so.
Huh?
I said you ain't showing it.
Could you get me after like 4 or 5 guys after I've already wiped their asses? You think I'm going to wipe your stubborn ass?
Do you hear this?
And it's never like never like live training. It's always like you're sitting there and you're like,
that was a live training.
All right, bro, get in my best position and let's bump fists.
That last time we rolled, that was live training.
After 4 or 5 guys, and I'm an ultra heavy. You think I
went
cardio?
up against 5 guys in a row. I went up on the wall.
I submitted all my guys.
Listen, Ryan is ultra competitive, and he can't accept a loss. Like it's crazy. It's insane.
Because it's not a loss. It's just a learning lesson. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's why you get so upset about it.
No, man. I take it like Zach's great. Like I've been chomping at Zach's heels since we like the first time I saw Zach. I've told this story before, maybe on the Fist Stripe, but I walk in like to one of my first advanced class or Saturdays or whatever, and this guy's got like a WETA 5 patch or like a Mission 22, and he's out there strangling the shit out of a black belt, and he's like a 3 or 4 stripe white belt. I'm like, who is that? I'm like
I'd already been a white belt for a year, so.
So Zach's been training. Zach's been training about a year or 2 longer than me, I think.
Yeah, I'm 4 years.
Man, I'm been at Drax. It'll be.
But I did combat. I did combat or combatives level 1. I did at West Point. You have to do a semester of combatives. So I first learned jiu-jitsu probably at West Point, and then. No, actually, when I was first in the Army, I did a little bit there. I've done a little bit through the Army, and then I did combatives, which was like, you learn the basics.
That's where my first exposure to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was in the military, doing all those sergeant times trainings, fucking beating the shit out of each other.
I did level 1 combatives, so I mean they teach you enough to get by to where
the guard and
where I didn't need an intro lesson whenever I got in. They were like, I think you're good. In Ranger School they have combatives in there too, so. I was like, they're like, have you ever done, it before? And I was like, yeah, I mean, like submission grappling and the military and combatives level 1 in Ranger School. They're like, okay, yeah, you're good. You can go ahead and do it. Do a class.
It was funny.
Oliver was the one that signed me up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. So like Zach has all that experience and he still can't pass my guard. So I don't know.
That's erroneous.
He still can't pass my guard.
I
so.
did the last time
No,
we
you
went.
didn't. No, you didn't. I was like 4 or 5 guys deep. I'm carrying about 30 pounds extra
Dude,
right
do
now.
you hear these excuses?
I'm just saying.
These
told me-
excuses
I'm
are
just saying.
insane. Like,
I can't remember the last time Zach submitted me. You know that? You know that?
I can't remember the last time you submitted me.
I think it was. I can't
See,
remember either.
you remember? Like, you
No,
remember?
the thing about Zach is you literally have to put him unconscious. Like he trains with so much ego and toughness that if you
It's
try
not
to,
ego. It's mental toughness.
That's what I'm saying, it's
I
toughness.
have. That's not ego though.
but it's a big belief in yourself. It's an ego. It's like a.
I asked my wife the other day. I go, what about me impresses you the most? She said a couple different things, but it all narrowed down. I go, so mental toughness, and she goes, yes, you are the most mentally tough
Yes.
person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
But that's not ego. Like,
But you have to have a little bit of ego to be mentally tough, right? Like you have to think that nothing can hurt me, nothing can stop me. I'm tough. I can handle anything.
It's just how I am. It's just.
I feel like ego is like confidence without intelligence.
Oh,
You know what
that
I'm
makes
saying?
sense.
Like if you're confident but you're intelligent about your limits and you know what you can and can't.
But it's
do,
also
then you
could
know
be
what
called
confidence
delusional
is.
if you have confidence without, like
Well, isn't that what an ego is in most sense?
delusional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
I'm fucking mentally tough. I can tell you that.
And like my thing for the longest time, like I was in the military, I was great, I did all these things, and then I got injured and I got hurt and I lost a bunch of that stuff, and then it's kind of like it broke me because I used to be like the most like competitive, like as I am now, but once it broke me, there was was periods of my life to where it was just alcohol, drugs, eating everything, partying all night, chasing the wrong people, hanging with the wrong people, and then it turned into I found jujitsu. My mom died, and then I realized, you know what, you still are tough. You got through all that. You're, and you're able to, you're in and out. Like my first jujitsu experience, or when I got back into it, I was at a gym in Deer Park, and I broke my ankle and I broke my foot playing basketball because I was so fucking fat. And I was out there and I was jumping up and down and I just broke them both. Like I saw pictures the other day of it, and my feet are like swollen
Wearing,
like this.
two different ankle boots.
So I break both of my ankles, and then I'm out for I only did like 3 weeks. I was like, fuck this, I'm not giving up now. So I get in there and I have like these little tie up like ankle braces, and I'm having to train through them. And then I come over to Drax, and it's like I took the ankle braces off and just kind of ran into it. And I was training twice. Like you see all these white belts come in and they get all like full of piss of vinegar. But the thing is, like me and Zach and
I think the white belt is the closest to a real fight. Actually, that's the
oh
thing.
man, it's like a bar fight.
Well, because you don't know what to expect. You don't know. They're not going to give you the right looks.
Or the right
It's like
reactions.
playing poker with somebody that doesn't know the rules. They're gonna go. You can't read them because they'll be like all in. You're like they don't
I
even
have
know what a
pocket
pair
aces,
is.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to call you even with pocket aces.
Yeah, so
You suck out,
I think
bitch.
a white belt's the same as a novice. Like typically, if you're a novice at poker, you will probably win, and then that's how you get hooked because you're like, oh, this is awesome, I'm winning this money. Next time you go, you know a little bit more, and then you start losing.
No, you got to get Doyle Brunson's book after your first time you win. That's how you get better. So, or Daniel Negreanu's or one of those guys.
And then how to cheat with people who put in the chips on your
I
card.
don't, and that's something I think that's kind of like done me well too. Is I love politics, I love poker, and I love jujitsu. And what all three
He's
of
a
those?
very religious man too.
Yeah, I love Jesus Christ. I love the fuck out of that guy. but
Fuck out of that guy.
But no, man. It was an amazing experience today. The Flow Grappling guys, Reed, he's one of the most talented like filmmakers they have. It was awesome to have old Devil Town out there, doing his
Yeah, it
thing.
was cool.
And Reed was out there fucking scrapping, dude.
Yeah, he was
didn't-
throwing down.
He didn't care.
It was Gracie Baja Gi. Does he train at Gracie Baja?
No, they're at Paragon up there, and
okay.
yeah, so he's just doing that out of respect, which I thought was a super cool detail that a lot of people.
You know what I also thought was really cool is before we started, he went down the line and shook everybody's hand and introduced himself.
Super nice guy.
I was like, you know what? If I ever go to a new gym, I'll do that too.
Yeah, there was dude like those.
That's actually a really cool move.
Like we've had our issues with those guys, and it's only a couple, but the majority of them, Howell, Reed, Chase,
I was thinking
Torrey,
how cool of a job it is.
it's like,
I don't know if they get a lot of money, but
but their facility, they get a lot of money. Their facility
depends on like what you're comparing it to.
Well, I mean, these guys, they just took like 80 or 100 mil in seed money, recently.
Well, you're talking about Flow Sports. I'm not. I'm talking
But Flow
about like.
Grappling is the most active.
No, I know, but
sport on their
that doesn't mean they're making six figures.
But no, I guarantee you guys like the upper like Howell and Torrey and those types.
I'm
Torrey's
talking
an
about
attorney.
the traveling guys and.
Oh, they're. I think they're probably between 70 and 100. I would probably
so-
think. Which in Texas, no state tax. I mean,
it'll be fun.
You're doing pretty good. I mean, Texas, you can buy $100,000 house that would cost you $1 million on the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
But you also get paid more on the East Coast.
yeah. So I mean, the cost of living and stuff is I guess It's still ridiculous in those highly
Austin is not that great a cost of living compared to pay. Houston is great. Houston is like one of the highest in the nation.
and that's why you're going to start seeing Austin just building up. All those condos are building
Oh,
building
yeah.
up, building
But
up,
that's-
building up.
Everything's going to still just increase with property taxes. And
Yeah. But no, I mean, shout out to Flow Grappling. Those guys.
yeah, thanks for coming out. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the footage.
They
it's
got
gonna be
some
pretty
man.
cool.
They got some really good stuff. And like Reed those guys were pros. They got Drac. They got Brian. They got a lot of training. Reed was training. They got footage of him training.
Did you see
and
Pedro and Lucas go together?
Oh
You watched it?
yeah, it was tough.
I heard. I didn't actually. I heard somebody say they went together, and they gave the same response. They didn't say what happened during it. They were just like, "Oh, that was crazy."
This Lucas, so Lucas. So it ain't. I mean, Pedro is probably like that guy's like I would think is the next big thing.
Yeah.
Like the more his personality, the way he does business, the way
Well, look at all the people Roberto Jimenez is beating now.
and Pedro.
and
He can't be Pedro.
Right. So,
I'm telling you, I would put Pedro against like that's the kind of guy that I would bet my house on.
I win
in a
against
fight.
Pedro. He was very nice to me by not killing me.
See, I'll go out to his home gym, Gracie Bar, West Chase on Sundays sometimes to train with him and some of the guys, and he's not so nice.
I did not guillotine from. I saw him let Bice, our buddy Brandon Bice, pass his guard while his head was in the guillotine and just tapped him. Like he's like, okay, go past my guard.
Man, when he
And then Bice is dead now.
I told Zach, I was like, we met up, I guess it was like after a Sunday. I'm like, dude, my throat, I feel like I've strep throat. Like my throat was sore for like four days from Mourinho teen.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a great it was a great episode, guys. Shout out Flow Grappling. Third Coast Grappling 4 is coming at you March 14th.
Still got GA tickets.
Weigh-ins.
Buy them from the fighters. If you don't know any fighters, buy them online. But this is an event that you have to see live.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same event on Flow Grappling.
So check it out.
But if you can't make it, watch it on Flow Grappling because it's going to be awesome.
And local wise, if you're in the area, come out to the weigh-ins at Twin Peaks Kirby. We're gonna have some live music. Our man BC is always holding it down for
awesome.
us, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna have free food. We're gonna have a great experience for you guys. It's right in the heart of downtown. It's on a Friday night. I mean, you ain't got shit to do. Come out and just level up your jiu-jitsu by being around all the great athletes that'll be there. Yeah. So the 13th, that, and then our after party at Lucky's Pub. We're doing it. It's right next door.
Street, yeah.
So you can stumble right in there, and you can stumble right into a cab, and you can get your ass dropped off.
They're going to have a St. Patty's Day theme going on, too.
Yeah,
so
because
if you want to wear green, go ahead.
And they're already having some built-in stuff, so I expect a madhouse.
Tuesday's St. Patty's Day, right?
Yeah, the 17th.
Everyone's Irish on St. Patty's Day.
I really am Irish, though, you fucking fake plastic patty.
I told you I was. I was Irish for a while.
Marshall.
And I was 33% until I got my renewed Ancestry.com, and they were like, yeah, that 33% is actually 95% British. And I was like, all right, well, there we go.
Like me, like I'm Sicilian, Italian.
Which Northern Ireland is British. I know they don't, kind of, right?
Northern Ireland is fucking crazy.
Well, they're part of the UK, which is the United Kingdom of Great Britain. So.
They got that old man assaulter, Conor McGuire, up there, holding it down for him. Shout out, Conor. Proper 12.
All right. So with
me.
that, peace. Have a good night.
We out.